It was a dark and gloomy evening, and the only sound was the gentle patter of rain on the pavement. I was walking my dog, Buddy, through the woods near my house. I had done this route many times before, but tonight, something felt different. Buddy was usually a happy and energetic dog, but tonight, he was acting strange. He kept sniffing the ground and looking around nervously. I tried to reassure him, but he seemed to be getting more and more agitated. Suddenly, Buddy stopped in his tracks and started growling. He stared into the woods, his eyes wide with fear. I followed his gaze, but I couldn't see anything. "What's wrong, Buddy?" I asked. "What is it?" Buddy continued to growl, but he didn't move. I started to feel uneasy. I decided to head back home, but just as I turned to leave, I heard a noise behind me. I whirled around, but again, I couldn't see anything. Just the trees and the rain. "Did you hear that?" I asked Buddy. He didn't respond. He just kept growling, his eyes fixed on the woods. I took a step back, my heart pounding in my chest. I felt like I was being watched. Then, I saw it. A figure moving in the shadows of the trees. It was tall and slender, and it was wearing a long white dress. I froze in terror. The figure stopped moving and stared at me. Its face was pale and gaunt, with sunken eyes and a gaping mouth. I wanted to scream, but I couldn't make a sound. I felt like I was paralyzed with fear. The figure started to walk towards me. It moved slowly, deliberately, its white dress billowing in the wind. I turned and ran, with Buddy close behind me. We ran as fast as we could, but the figure seemed to be gaining on us. I could hear its footsteps behind me, getting closer and closer. I could feel its breath on my neck. I was so close to home. I could see the lights of my house in the distance. I just had to keep running. Finally, I reached my front yard and burst through the door. I slammed the door shut and locked it. I collapsed on the floor, gasping for breath. Buddy curled up next to me, whimpering. I looked out the window at the woods. The figure was gone. I don't know what I saw that night. It could have been a trick of the light or a figment of my imagination. But I know what I felt. And I know that I will never forget the woman in the woods. The aftermath. I was so shaken by the experience that I didn't walk Buddy in the woods for weeks. But eventually, I decided that I couldn't let my fear control me. I started walking Buddy again, but I always made sure to stay on the well-lit paths. One day, I was walking Buddy in the woods when I saw a figure in the distance. It was a woman wearing a long white dress. My heart started to race. I grabbed Buddy's collar and pulled him back. The woman stopped moving and looked at me. Her face was pale and gaunt, with sunken eyes and a gaping mouth. I was frozen with fear. I couldn't move. The woman started to walk towards me. She moved slowly, deliberately, her white dress billowing in the wind. I knew I had to do something. I couldn't let her get any closer. I took a deep breath and shouted, "Get away!" The woman stopped walking. She stared at me for a long moment, then she turned and ran back into the woods. I didn't see her again after that. But I still think about her sometimes. I wonder who she was and why she was in the woods. And I wonder if she's still there, watching me. Theories. There are a few theories about what I saw that night in the woods. One theory is that I saw a ghost. There have been many reports of ghost sightings in the woods near my house. Some people believe that the woods are haunted by the spirits of people who have died there. Another theory is that I saw a wild animal. There are many wild animals in the woods, including coyotes, foxes, and bears. It's possible that I saw one of these animals from a distance and mistook it for a human. But I don't believe either of these theories. I know what I saw. I saw a woman in a white dress. And I know that she was watching me. I don't